Hello, beautiful friends, and I'm Layla May, and welcome to Elemental Connections, where we're giving voice to the unseen realms of nature. And today we have a beautiful Elen Tompkins, who is an author and a shamanic healer, teacher, and inspirational speaker. And I just would love to share with you a beautiful book that Elen has written. So welcome, Elen. Thank you for saying yes to this interview and coming into this space to share your magic.
Oh, thank you, Layla. Well, your energy feels so elven, so it felt like you have been with a sister, and and this sort of uncovering wisdom. So thank you for asking me.
Oh, such a pleasure. And I had the privilege of reading your book last year. A friend introduced me to it, and it's just magical. It's so magical, and it really brings and enlivens this elven energy. To me, it really spoke deeply to my heart. So it feels really wonderful to have this opportunity to share a little bit more about these elven beings, and this energy. So it would be really wonderful if you could share a little bit about who they are and maybe how you connected with them.
Yes, yeah. Well, it wasn't a connection that was always there, and it was one that awoke slowly, really, and first through the fairy realm, just becoming aware of a deep, deep longing to connect to the fairy realm, and then increasingly as I listened, and I was living in Wales and living very, very quietly and reclusively, and I felt guided to I was reading the Mabinogion a lot, which has the old myths of Wales and the beautiful old names in the Welsh language of the old goddesses, so Arianrhod and Ceridwen and Rhiannon and so forth. And I felt like there was just this whole resonant chamber of wisdom, lost wisdom within each of their, just the language, the music of their names even, and that I was feeling in the land all around me. And I couldn't find what I was feeling written down anywhere. And I researched a lot, but I just couldn't find it. Even the description of them as goddesses felt like it wasn't quite what I was feeling. And connected, but still not. So it was really listening to this beautiful music, and I started playing the harp, and it came through the harp, and also some quartz crystals from within the land there, and just listening, sitting for hours, just listening to these crystals and walking in the forest. And again, always just sense of this music becoming clearer within me. And I was hearing their voices more and more clearly. And I didn't really have a sense exactly of who they were, sort of goddess, shining ones, fairy beings. But it always felt older and different from any story I could quite find. So it was a long listening and a long process of discovery, and really learning to become more and more true to my feelings, the direct feelings within my own being, about who they were and what they were saying. And it felt like they were so beautiful, but there was also this deep wisdom to be revealed. Like it wasn't just beauty, it was also this profound, and there was some very crystalline message wanting to step through. So I had years of listening in Wales, and also traveling in the Himalayas and North America eventually as well, where I was guided each time, and went through my own purification process and initiations, and became ever more transparent to what was coming through, and really began to experience this elven lineage, this pure elven lineage, and the remembrance of them as beings who came from the stars long, long ago to the earth, and who really carried their remembrance of themselves as divine souls, as beings from the everlasting stars, from source, and came with this profound desire to create beauty, create these harmonic realms. And they really were the ones who brought those forms for the first, flowers, trees, and so forth. Their essence is so beautifully encapsulated. I get this image of the Elven Ones standing, and the form of the flower just springing in light from the palm of their hand. And it's that realm of pure soul creation in harmony with the many realms, that encapsulates their wisdom and their gift. And also the remembrance, that simple but I think has been elusive in the soul journey of our times, just of the profound gift of being here, that it's not a place that we've come to for sort of hard knocks and, you know, as a kind, some kind of punishment or hard learning school, that it's a profound gift and actually is inviting us to this state of sacred creativity. That's the very sort of core of our existence here. And their teachings, as they came through more and more, just really felt like an invitation and a reawakening into that state of being, and saying yes, that these divine creations that are welling up from within you, that are inspired as you walk through the forest, as you connect to the earth and the stars, they are the heart of creation. They're what's needed more than anything else. There's no reality that you can adapt to, that you can cohere with, that's more desirable, that's better, that, you know, is more needed. It's that pure crystalline realm arising within you that only you can see and feel. And if you don't bring it through, it'll never come into existence. We each have this unique sort of crystalline doorway of creation within us, and it's those creations that are so precious, and they're really coming through in a new wave of creation. There are many of us born to go through this extraordinary transfiguration into remembrance, where we step from a state of forgetfulness, being immersed in a culture that's completely different to this, and we're just spontaneously awakening to who we really are, in this very accelerated way. And these gifts just demanding to be shared. And it might come through that we just can't live, that, you know, depression or whatever, you know, those the states of being are really actually quite awful without living that destiny. It's like there's no halfway house at the moment in this lifetime. And there's the peace and the joy and the happiness of bringing through our gifts, or there's the terrible sort of lostness and confusion and maelstrom of not living them, and not being sure of ourselves and waiting. So for me, that's the real heart of the Elven wisdom.
Oh God, that's just so beautiful. That speaks so deeply. I felt quite moved and to tears almost a couple of times. And when you speak of that remembrance and the how you described like the flowers coming into being, and I have this memory of like almost singing creation into being. And
yes,
exactly. We remember how to do that again, to be in that frequency and to bring that in. Wow, that's so incredibly beautiful. And so where for you are these beings now? Are you connecting with beings, or is it more of an inner connection to an aspect of yourself that you're bringing through?
Yeah, oh, that's interesting, because it was so connecting to them from outside of me for so many years. They were around me and with me, and then as it's gone on over the years, it's become more and more inner. So it's more and more my own elven and stellar embodiment, and less of a sense of my focus being on them being around me. And that was the process of writing Silver Wheel was like that, because I would literally, you know, be in their presence and channel through the messages that they were bringing. And I felt this gradual activation of my elven heart and this golden heart within. And then increasingly it was just coming straight from my own soul, higher self wisdom, that I brought. So I think that is the journey of our times. It's that moving, but you know, it comes to us, and it's beautiful to work with the guidance. And I still step into that when I'm holding the ceremonies and workshops. There's a real sense of them being around and being with me. But it's been an interesting shift.
Yeah. So I mean, in these energies are very multidimensional as well. My sense is so they're within us and around us and supporting us if we choose to connect and make that connection and bring it into our worlds.
They're hugely supporting us right now. It's just incredible. Their guidance is astonishing, and there's this beautiful choreography of emergence, and I'm always stunned by the choreography of it, this sort of cosmically choreographed awakening and reawakening of the earth and of ourselves. And it's like the Elven Ones have this quality of heart where they just hold it all with this immense benevolence, patience, and while the transformational process can feel really, really confusing a lot of the time, they really hold that space. And when I tap into them, it's just hold that space of that profound patience, the awareness of the perfection of that which we are and what's unfolding. And this just really, really benevolent view, and a kind of very non-dualistic wisdom. There's no judgment there. So their guidance can be incredibly calming and kind of attune you to the greater rhythms of your ascension. When you can get lost in the minutiae almost, and the moment to moment of it, their consciousness can really carry you into the greater rhythm of your ascension and feeling the perfection of your own process and awakening.
Wow, it's a really powerful energy to be connecting with then.
Yes.
Yeah. And so do you for you, are they simultaneously beings, star beings and earth beings?
Yes, it's very much stellar beings who've lived at those higher densities of light and have, remembered and brought through those other dimensional existences very, very strongly. So they really brought those star gifts here, and the teachings of the Silver Wheel were formed during the time of Lemuria, which is one of the Elven eras on Earth. One of the early starlight ages of the earth, when these higher starlights really flowered here, and a higher dimensional existence. So they brought these a sequence of amethyst crystals from another world, and then through the beautiful rhythms of the earth wove the glyphs into the heart of the amethyst crystals, and those glyphs are what hold the wisdom of the silver wheel. And it was deliberately created so that it would be here for us now as a portal, as a vehicle of remembrance. So that creation process of the way that they were created really encapsulates, I think, the Elven-ness, which is it's so deeply stellar, so deeply star, very much honors and brings through the gifts of those realms beyond the earth, and yet with this exquisite balance, really has so long been woven with the earth, and that it's this beautiful balance. It's this earth star energy that's completely and utterly balanced, which is what's so beautiful about them. There's the sense that they really do know what it means to live as a stellar soul on this earth, and to do so in a really beautiful way.
Yeah, in complete harmony with all the realms, and
yes
and with our humanness as well.
With our humanness as well, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm really feeling that piece coming in there, just that we're not returning necessarily to the elven energy or the star energy, but becoming these human embodiment of that energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true. Because you can, if you try, just when those parts of yourself awaken, then you can start wanting to just try and stay in them all the time, and fall out of love with your human aspects. And it's not at all that. And I went through those times, and it was a long time for me to accept my human self, as deeply as I accepted my elven and stellar aspects. And it's like, now I know it's just so beautiful, this dance between all of them, the whole. It's just so amazing to be all of that, and you really stand foursquare then, and the whole embodiment is so grounded and so real.
Oh, that's so beautiful. It's just kind of taken me into, like, I feel really calm now. I'm just kind of centered in this, and I can feel that the strength of this energy as well. It just feels very strong and very clear and really crystalline, and and I feel that supportive energy. And so is there any techniques or any advice you could give to people that might be wanting to begin to connect with these energies?
Well, I think if you're at the very beginning of connecting with them, I mean, my own journey was that I really did need to go to Wales and Ireland, the places where these realms are still so fully dimensional. And it almost sort of knocks you over the head. You can't miss it. It's like, I lived in a place where the portal to the other world, at the beginning of the Mabinogion, it's actually literally that place, and I lived there and was walking in the forest every day. And the elven realms there are the shining realms are as visible as the physical. I mean, it's so it's overwhelmingly real.
I'd love to hear, how does that for you? What's your direct experience of that? How did it look or feel to you? Are you able to describe?
Well, there's one bit I always remember. There's a bit beside a river that I always walked, and it was always a sense of being in procession. There were just these beautiful beings, and they were always carrying lanterns. There were these lanterns, and also what I get are these beautiful etheric structures and citadels. It's like seeing a great sort of etheric palace, elven palace of light around. So I see them as these beautiful architectures with these archways and often sapphire. I see a lot of sapphire, but actually in the ceremony this weekend, it was beautiful. There was a golden and kind of almost a bit platinum one that descended in Avalon. And again, of course, this Avalon is one of the powerful places where you can regain that completely dimensional present experience of that realm just very powerfully and directly. I mean, the tour is an amazing place for feeling that great shining elven etheric architecture of the earth. And Ireland obviously is just amazing for that also. And I think those places, they're really designed to switch us back on, but then we carry the remembrance wherever we go, and it really does become unconditional. And you realize it can't be knocked out by Wi-Fi, it can't be knocked out by tarmac or concrete or, you know, anything.
That's wonderful. I love that you say that. I love that these energies, once you connect with them, they transcend all of the lower vibration in a way.
They
it's
do.
like not superimposing, but like bringing that energy back to life over what's here in a way, you know, and that these things can't knock us off, and we're not susceptible to them, and they can't damage us when we're embodying these frequencies. And
and that's been since I had my years in the forest, which was when I was reconnecting, you know, but then since I've been on huge journeys and I've had to be in very, you know, very dense environments continuously, but it's just beautiful because just the embodiment and the connection has just become more and more unconditional. So I'm really, really grateful for that, because in my early years I really felt so vulnerable. It was like I had to be in the forest and it was really hard for me to be anywhere else. But yeah, as you say, as that vibrational spectrum gets really switched on within the self, you actually come into this state. It can't be affected by those things. And it's vast, it's immortal, powerful, and it's really coming back. I just seeing those structures pouring through. It's their time.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I was sitting watching the sun going down the other day, and I was just sort of hearing and feeling this thing about these light cities, and I really feel now that's what that is. It's that those structures that are there. And so that's beautiful confirmation for me for what I was feeling as well. That's really beautiful. Is there any other is there anything that you'd like to share specifically about the Elven shining ones? Is there anything that you feel in this moment might want to be shared?
Right. Oh, well, there's just, I'll just go with what's coming through in this moment is just, I mean, the only concrete practice I was really given in the Silver Wheel, it's a huge, it's really an activation, the whole book. It just activates, I think, that state of being within us. It switches something back on. It's really, really beautiful. But in terms of like concrete, practical, you know, guidance, there's just the one practice really given, which is to connect to the rising sun and to the dawn energy, at least the early morning energy at the very least. And just it being, because these realms there has been this hiddenness, and in a sense it's become the hidden lunar, you know, sort of other world, and that's within ourselves also, that these aspects of ourselves, we've so long been used to the paradigm of sort of holding them as this otherness or otherworldliness within us. And there's something really beautiful about bringing that otherworldly energy into the radiance of the sun, you know, so that beautiful lunar otherworldly energy into the realm of the sun now, and really balancing. So I think those of us with these gifts and this connection with ourselves to sort of step into the solar aspect now is a really strong message from the Elven Ones. And I've always been a very sort of lunar person, and would just wake to my soul energy gradually through the day as I went along, and then I'd be just about getting going by the evening. But now it's I've honored that practice of really connecting to the dawn and to the rising sun, and it's just that bringing together of these beautiful otherworldly aspects of the soul with the solar energy is just so beautiful, and really steps us beyond all the melancholy as well, and the lost, the sense of things that are lost, beautiful realities that are lost, into a really powerful awareness that actually we're not in that time of lostness anymore. We're in that time of return.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I've had the experience of being called to go and see the rising sun recently as well, and the setting sun as well, which is a little bit for me. I'm not so good early in the morning, but yeah, I think that for me, the experience recently of seeing that, and just, I want to say, the majesty of the energy and the colors and the frequency,
Yeah,
and it's just, it shines a whole other light across the landscape, which
yeah,
it brings in that magic. You can feel the palpable magical
yes.
energy when you,
There are really special frequencies at that time, aren't there, that are quite unique. And if you, and I think it's that whole window of that of the early morning, but you can discern, you can feel when they're still around, and it's like it feels like, because the energies are shifting so continuously at the moment, and it can get really overwhelming and confusing. You can go to sleep in one state and wake up in a completely different one. So it's almost like we need to be rededicating our souls in every moment, you know, certainly every morning, to this beauty of being able to really bring our soul star dreams into reality. So that we're not kind of just sort of steamrolled by the list of things that we feel we might have to do, or that, you know, and because of the intensity of the frequencies, all that stuff can feel like it comes at us faster, you know, or more overwhelmingly than before. But if we can just set our intention, I'll share with you the words of the prayer I was given for connecting with the sun, because I think it's like the heart of what the Elven Ones are kind of opening us up to and calling us to. And these are just words I was they came through. So, beloved sun, Taratiana Kitianai, light the lamp of the everlasting stars in my heart this day, Koratania Tianai. May a sun-star palace of golden spires and silver turrets be woven, Koratania Tanaya, the magical kingdom of my soul, Prushtianai. I see myself walking through the mists of the sun. I see myself through the eyes of the angels of creation. I see the immortal star of love that I always and forever am. I offer the soul star of my true presence to this world. Tanyaya. And then I just really see my energy arriving to the heart of the earth. It's like, you know, arriving to her, beginning from that place.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah. So just really anchoring in our higher realm of creation. Those are the words that just came to me this second. I thought that's like the Elven wisdom.
Can you say that again?
Anchoring in our higher realm of creation.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That feels perfect. I feel like everything you just shared there is so rich with activation and remembrance, and just a sense of returning. For me, listening to you, that's my experience in this moment. So yeah, that for me feels really full and complete, actually. Unless
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really like that. So unless there's anything else you wish to share, anything that you've got coming up that you might want to promote, or
yeah, well, I was guided to share the full Elven Star ceremonies this year, which has been unbelievable, so beautiful, and there are more in Avalon coming. There's the Starflower Aura, working especially with the flowers and our Starflower Aura this summer. So yeah, that'll be this August. And then some beautiful retreats. There's one, the Moonstone Waters in Wales, if anyone really was drawn to come and be in Wales and connect from there. That's just going to be supremely gentle but transformative, deep, and really going into that realm of elven stellar remembrance on the earth. And then also, and then I'm taking the Elven teachings, so traveling across to be with the White Lions in South Africa in November, which is unbelievable. And that just arose through serendipity, but these two incredible star lineages of the planet, you know, planetary guardians coming together. And these ceremonies always just arise as these sort of quantum starlight creations. I can feel the Elven Ones weaving them in the very moment as they unfold, with the starlight soul presence of each person there. So this is just the unfoldment of the miracle of what we're creating. Yeah,
stunning. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. It's it's so beautiful that you're anchoring this light and these frequencies here. So thank you.
Oh, so lovely to talk to you, Layla.
Oh, you too.
Really, truly.
Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so much love to you, and Thank you to everybody for watching, and I really highly recommend Ellen's book. So I just want to share that again. And it's such a beautiful book as well, I want to say. Like, it's actually physically beautiful. Mine's a little bit, I've been reading it in the bath. But yeah, it's a beautiful book, so I highly recommend that for reading. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again in a week's time. Bye, beautifuls.